9 a.m., August 12th, 2024. I've been sleeping in the van the past few hours. I just woke up and started posting on x.com/WADES2ND. A rush of cars woke me up on V68. Often that means the criminals were staging their cowardly lies again, which is no surprise. They do it every day. That's their whole life, is being criminal, fraud, jackass, thieving, lying, weakling cowards. So, whatever they staged today, I've been in the white van, which is attached to my Prius at 1809 W Avenue, Fairbank, half mile north of Fairbank, Iowa, on V68, west side of the road by the mobile home and the side yard, the overgrown grass and weeds here. Yesterday, I went to Wisconsin to retrieve the Prius. I wasn't going to make it because when I was at my parents' red and white barn home from 8 to 9 a.m. on August 11th to about 10:30 a.m., I told them, or I discussed with them, there's no way for me to get up there or get the Prius back because Dad's trailer was being used by my brother, Ryan, for making an old livestock building into a machine shed, I guess. I haven't talked to my brother since 2017. My only brother, Ryan. He's 6'3" again. He's white, and just we same parents, same biological parents, Jerry and Lois, at the red and white barn home. And I had planned on using his trailer so I didn't have to pay anything to rent a tow dolly or something. So it was Sunday. There had been no places open to rent a tow dolly. So I looked on Craigslist, and there was a cheap tow dolly in Lansing, which is right on the way to where I was going in Wisconsin, across the bridge in Lansing, up north of the Lansing Bridge on the Wisconsin side. The town, I still can't keep forgetting the name of the town. But when I went up there across the river into Wisconsin, the address for where I'd left my Prius had disappeared from Google Maps and my text messages. The text messages that the guy had sent for his address were gone, erased, and Google Maps was erased. So I got the title out for the van. I punched in the address for the van title because I could not remember how I got to the address on the 9th. And because Wisconsin's always confused me. All the hills there, they all look the same to me in the different areas. All the hills, look the same. Even the roads are named very similar things. Like where I went, it happened to be the guy's old address that was on his title, and it looked similar address, only it started with an N instead of a W. It was a letter and 4 numbers, and then it said La Crosse, Wisconsin, and I thought originally it was the name of the other town, but I couldn't remember well enough. I'm not the best. I'm really not good at directions and following map directions and stuff like that. I'm good spatially if that's all I have, but as I said, Wisconsin confuses me because everything looks the same to me. Like in different areas, all the hills look the same, and they name their roads. There was a road titled AO or O in the same areas, and they all the road looked similar in certain areas. Like I was on the right path, and then Google seemed to be messing with me on Google Maps, like taking me away from the address I had punched in a couple different times. Like it had me all screwed up over there, and I was towing a dolly, so I couldn't turn around very easily, which I had to do several times. So it took me a lot longer to find where my Prius was than should have. So I eventually I just drove to the town that I thought it was, and then I looked for a familiar place, and then I couldn't figure it out. I still couldn't figure it out. So I got the title out again, and the bill of sale happened to have his current address on it, which I hadn't thought about before. So I put that in and then drove right to it. But so it was a little bit of it was exhausting driving around the hills of Wisconsin while Google Maps seemed to be not wanting to take me to the place I put into the address. And then there looked like there might have been a little bit of a staged event going on my way to the old address after Google Maps had like played with me, it seemed like, because before I got to his old address that was on the title, there was a young female with walking a dog. It just looked suspicious, like they were trying to stage a lie. So if there's anything that was said about that, I didn't stop. I drove right by her, drove right to the property that was on the address, or that was on the title of the van, and I talked to that guy who had like 4 dogs in his driveway for 5 minutes, and we cleared things up that he lived at the guy's old address. Um, so then I had to drive back to the town that I knew I went to, and then that's when I realized I could get the address off the bill of sale, the guy's new address off the bill of sale. So that's what I did. But by then it was like 6 o'clock, 6:30, and then when I hooked up the Prius, and the Prius didn't, the battery had drained, so I had to take the battery out of my van to start the Prius and get it on the dolly. It was not the easiest of things that I've had to do. I've had to do that before in the past, the same scenario, but it's not. It's not. It takes a lot longer to do it that way. But eventually, I got on the road and got home, and I've been parked in the yard since. I've been sleeping in the van this morning. So after the rush of cars around a little before like 8:30 woke me up around 8:30, I think. I thought I better get up and start posting, because that's me. Usually means the criminal maggots are staged a lie. So if anybody was in the mobile home from between, I don't know, 4 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., I went in there before that to get blankets to put in the van, so I didn't have to unload everything that I have in the van from, everything that I always load up. That's the dilemma of me not wanting to unload and load and unload and load, and especially with all the rocks that I have. But it was indicated the criminals stole more of my valuable stones when I had the van parked up at my new home in Northwest Iowa outside the camper. I was taking a nap at the camper. When I got out of the camper, the van door was wide open, and one of the struts was making a noise after that. So if anybody took my van for a ride while I had it up there on the 11th, is it 10th? Up there on the 10th, Northwest Iowa, obviously is a criminal and is not allowed to be in my van. And it was indicated they stole more meteorites then. I don't know if they stole any papers or any receipts or anything, but they always have access to everything at that point. So I haven't actually checked to see if I still have the receipt for the camper, because that was in one of the packets that was on the dash. So that would have been in here too. So again, I don't know what they would have stolen. I can't go through everything. Every time they break in so often. There's no way for me to know what they've stolen. So I have no connection to anyone other than my parents the last 5 years, including friendship, romance, business, work wise, anything, nothing. There's nobody had any connection to me whatsoever. Anybody trying to claim any connection to me other than my parents, the Red and White Barn home, who are 83 and 82 years old, Lois and Jerry, are criminals. So I don't know who they are. But continue to get indications some jackass fraud, 100% BS boy is still trying to call me his dog, pet, cat, animal, or robot. Never had any connection to me. So that is just a piece of dog shit. So I'm half mile north of Fairbank, Iowa, August 12th, 2024. This will be audio only for youtube.com/@IAMWADEHEINEMAN only. And I continue to post on x.com/WADS2ND. I cannot get into my x.com/WADS because the phone screen of my other phone is broken. So this may be, again, I may be locked out of x.com/WadeYesYes, as I have been for the last 2+ weeks, because of the phone, and youtube.com/@WadeYes. So if anybody's tried to communicate through those accounts, the frauds probably intentionally broke the screen on my phone again, which they'd done before. So, 10.7-inch hands, green eyes, not blue. I haven't worn sunglasses since 2019. I'm 6'1", 52 years old, born 11/4/71 in Iowa. Always lived in Iowa and circumcised 1971. No changes since. Male heterosexual since birth. Whatever the digitally staged lies via surveillance, which is very abusive psychologically to me to be portrayed as female. I deserve $40 million compensation for the damages they've done to me with the surveillance system for 10 years. I didn't do anything wrong. It was indicated I'm in some kind of prison. If they're doing something like that, somebody staged a lie and they're responsible for getting me in this situation. So therefore, they get 20 years prison for staging the lie. I don't know what it would be, but I didn't do anything wrong. So I'm an innocent person as always. No date romance relationship in 9 years. It's August 12th, 2024, half mile north of Fairbank, Iowa on V68. No friendship since 2016. Never been married. No sexual contact in 6+ years. Never been interested in children, males, or transgenders. Only adult female sexually or romantically. And I've had no date romance relationship in 9 years and never been married.